Hello and welcome back to the Football Forecast. We have an absolutely gigantic fixture to talk about. Spain take on Germany, and on a normal day, this fixture's huge. Spain beat Costa Rica 7-0. By the way, that's Kweku's side. He backed Costa Rica as his outside bet.
Why are you calling me out for, man?
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
It's alright, man. So we all make mistakes.
Happens, doesn't it?
I'm surprised you're still not backing him. But Germany lost to Japan, and now they're in a situation where if they don't beat Spain, they're out.
I take a deep breath and take that in, right? Because there's a lot of pressure on this German team to perform. Not only just because of this game, but because of the consequences you just spoke about. There is no second chances now, and I think they'll probably rue to regret the performance they gave in that first one against Japan, because I genuinely don't see anybody going out and saying they're going to try to match Spain after what the statement that they made against Costa Rica. 7-0 in a World Cup finals performance. I'm sorry. It doesn't really matter what region of the world you came from. Doesn't matter what level of football you feel like. This is still the best team from their region of the world that have qualified for the World Cup. And to go out and absolutely dominate a team like that on the highest stage, I was both applauding the level of quality of football, but at the same time, in my mind, I was sitting there saying, what a message you are sending to the rest of the world.
Their XG against in that game, have a guess, was
3.5, 3.9?
XG against. So Costa Rica's XG effectively.
Oh, zero.
Zero.
Because they didn't have a shot.
Yeah, they were not in it. And Spain, like you say, what people love to do in this World Cup is like downplay big performances. We've just got to appreciate what Spain did to a Costa Rica side that have got World Cup pedigree, and that's the reason why I picked them as my dark horses. So you got to give credit to Spain, and it was seeing that blend in midfield. Obviously, Busquets is that old warhorse. He's been there, he's done that, he's won everything, he's won multiple t-shirts. But then you have Pedri, you have Gavi as well in midfield. It's just it had that nice balance, and seeing Rodri as a centre back, it was strange. It was a bit of a mishmash of a team, but it did work well for Spain, and they did surprise me because, again, if you go back to my picks, I thought they weren't going to make it out of this group, and now they are favourites to top this group.
The versatility that Spain team showed, and let's not even talk about the players that came off the bench. Let's just focus on the 11 that you just spoke about. The trio in the midfield, I was looking at it like Pedri, Gavi, and Busquets. I was like, wow, they are putting on a display of art of how to play football, like right now. And then you think about Asensio. I'm literally like flabbergasted as to how someone who, let's be honest, he's not a 9, but he's playing this false 9 position and making it look easier. It was such a reflective of the Fabregas performance that we saw in the World Cup previously, the David Villas that had come before. And I think to myself, Luis Enrique is sitting there like, let everybody ignore us. Keep ignoring us. Keep talking about how we need to redevelop, and this isn't the Spain team from before, and all the rest of it. We've got enough sprinkled of experience in here with Jordi Alba, the Busquets who's been there, the Rodris who understands how international campaigns work, and add it to this new core. Oh my gosh,
it's
scary.
It's different. It's
scary hours, as Drake would say.
It is scary hours, and to put a team to a sword like that, and to know that you do that, you set the pressure on everybody else, and then obviously Germany have dropped points. It's put them in a combined positions. It's made everybody sit up and take notice of the Spain side.
Morata is coming off I'm scratching my head sometimes. Solar's coming. I'm just looking at this team like, wow, how we missed them.
The problem they had in the previous competition was they couldn't score goals, and when they got to the final third, it was a bit bitty. Danny almost started that tournament quite well as well, and he started this one very well. They had Morata then, they had Ferran Torres then. It just felt like it all came together against Costa Rica. And I think one of the biggest things was Rodri and Laporte at centre-back was like a cheat code in keeping possession. That you couldn't get the ball back off them, which is where I looked at Costa Rica and I thought, if this was a slightly better pressing team or a side that could handle a team keeping the ball off them, they'd be fine. The problem for Germany is, Germany actually have to take the game to Spain. So they can't go, you have the ball and we'll play on the counter. I don't even think Germany can play that way. So that leaves Germany in a situation where they either have to go, we'll sit back, try and play on the counter, or we'll actually take the game to the side that is impeccable at keeping the ball, and they've got the midfield that can run and win you the ball back. There feels like there's no solution for Germany at the moment.
Yeah, this is not a vintage German side, and I have to preface this. I love Kai Havertz, but he hasn't got what you need in terms of being the fox in the box and create those moments and give you those goals. So you need to go and beat a Spain side like this. it's going to be very, very difficult for Germany.
But you've backed them since the start of the tournament, right?
Yeah.
So,
Don't pull the handbrake
No.
up now.
No. What I mean by that is you had an idea in your mind of what they could be.
100%. I thought that they would be a team that could almost suffocate the opposition with the amount of possession they have and how decisive those players would be in terms of making decisions, and it'd be goals by committee because they haven't got a proper number 9. They didn't look like that. Musiala would look good in flashes, and I'm really impressed with what I saw from him. Serge Gnabry was decent, but that was all it was. It was the players were decent. They were okay. Müller looked okay at bits. Havertz had some nice touches. It's going to be very, very difficult for them against Spain, but I did pick them to win this group, and I think there is something to be said about pick integrity. And so I am picking them to go out and do a job on Spain and pull themselves back up in this group.
I mean, they did have 26 shots on goal against Japan. I think if Gundogan scores the one that hits the post, I think at that point it was 1-0. If that's 2-0, the game's probably dead in the water. So I understand there's some frustration to what Kweku saying Germany will still win the group.
Look, I get it, because I can see your logic, right? You look at the experience that's there, and I actually think Havertz and Müller, the way they can interchange and both play in that 9, and the way they can alternate, it actually works in terms of how modern day football is. Leroy Sané being on the bench, I mean, I'm not Coach Flick, so you have every right to turn around and put you on the bench, but Sané should start in that team because of what he can bring. That's so different to what else they have. I'm with you. I want to see more from Gnabry. I want to see more from, especially Musiala, because of the quality we've seen in European competitions.
Probably
But I was
Yeah,
squinting. When I was squinting and I was watching Spain, I genuinely had to scratch my head like, have I gone back 12 years and I'm watching Iniesta and Xavi in his midfield?
Yeah.
Like watching Pedri and Gavi. Oh, honestly,
Don't go that far with it. You've gone.
Watch the
you've gone too
performance.
far.
I think it was more their dominance, right?
the dominance.
yeah.
Though, I haven't
Too far
seen
with it.
anybody manipulate the ball. And Busquets must have been sitting back in the midfield like, yeah, this looks
easy.
familiar.
Yeah.
This looks familiar.
Against Costa Rica, they attempted 1,043 passes.
Yeah.
I think Germany will have a lot more.
Are we honestly like, tell me you didn't squint a couple times and be like, is that Xavi Hernandez?
No, I
and-
just think that's
and
like,
Dyer?
to put their names in that conversation at this moment in time is difficult. And I think the strongest part of Germany's side is their midfield.
Yeah.
Kimmich and Gundogan are proven performers. So let's see how Iniesta and Xavi they look against Kimmich and against Gundogan, because I think it's going to be a very different story in that midfield.
I wonder if you throw in Goretzka in there and play a midfield free and have your engine in there who's willing to put in tackles. So I felt against Japan, Endo in Japan's midfield sort of dominated the physical side of it. Kimmich doesn't look 100%. Gundogan is an outstanding footballer. I think you put someone robust next to him and you say, Spain, now with your Gavi and your Pedri and your technical footballers, now come up against this 8'9", 700-pound monster in Goretzka. How do you compete then?
But then, can I ask you, who do you sacrifice then if you do switch your three in midfield?
I think I would have personally not started Muller in that game. I feel, as much as I love Muller and the pedigree he's got, if anything actually, and if people are desperate to see Muller play, go play him up front instead of Kai Havertz, because Kai just isn't at the races at the moment. He has got a good record for Germany, but personally I play Musiala through the middle. Find a way to put your best
10.
player. Yeah,
okay.
Find a way to play your best player in his best position. And then build from there. And then you might bring in Goretzka. I would personally play Kimmich at right back. Nicolas Soule, that the pace that Spain play at will suffocate Soule on that side. And then I would maybe move him in centre back because I don't think Schlotterbeck was very good. And I think there just needs a bit of a shake up and bringing in someone who's got legs in midfield, a bit more powerful.
Say it. Leroy, say it.
Yeah.
Sané machine.
I think the problem with Sané recently has been he's played off the right hand side, whereas I think his best ability actually was left-hand side to the byline, cut back to the byline, whip it across the box. Because he's played off the right-hand side, he's lost a bit of that sort of cutting edge.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
He's become a bit too sweet, and I quite liked him being robust and horrible to play
He's
against.
less direct. There's less, and he hasn't got. Obviously, he's a fantastic player. Hasn't got the guile to be one of those wingers that is inverted and is cutting in and he's doing his defender and so he's great when he's direct at his fullback. Gets to the byline, cause issues that way, as opposed to the ball being at his feet and he's holding up and having to make decisions like that. Because I don't necessarily think that plays to his strength. So again, you guys are probably making my case for me. Bring in Sané.
But the problem is though, you
Yeah.
bring Sané in, and as you just both rightfully said, right, his best position is probably from the left hand side. But then what do you do with Gnabry? Because Gnabry wants to play from the left and cut in on his right foot. So you have to give and take. You have to either tell Serge that you're going to have to play wide right today and find a way to be effective from the opposite wing, or you sacrifice and tell Man City.
Hansi Flick loves his inverted wings.
He does love his inverted wings. It's just not going to happen.
I think
do you know what I mean?
he's got a contrasted style, which I don't know if he will do, to give Spain some problems. Very quickly, score prediction.
Ooh, I've got it back, boys. I picked them to finish top of the group. So I'm going for an upset, which is strange. Going for a 2-1 Germany win.
2-0 Spain. Comfortable.
But by saying that, you're putting Germany out.
Germany went out the second. Japan scored the second goal.
Wow. All right. I'm going to go 1-1. I think Spain don't need to risk anything. They don't need to roll the dice too much. They'll keep the ball. And I think Germany will create something. But you let us know who you think is going through.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.